I'm 21 years old. What am I doing? September is already over, if you can even believe that. How did it go so fast? But you know what that means? It's time for my September reading wrap up and my October hopefuls, so let's get right into it. Quickly logging into Goodreads so I can figure out what I've actually read this month. I am recording this a few days before September is over, but I know for a fact that the book that I'm starting today, because I finished the book last night, the book that I'm starting today, I'm not finishing it before the end of September. So, well, I'm gonna try because it's an arc and it gets published on the 30th, so I'm gonna do my best, but we'll see how I go. Okay, so I didn't actually read as many books as I thought I did. So in September, I read 7 books. Oh, that's not too bad. Alrighty, so I finished 2 audiobooks and 5 physical books. And currently, I am starting Holiday Ever After by Hannah Grace. I got an arc. It doesn't have the cover, which I'm really sad about. I thought it would have the cover, but it's there. I have no idea what it's about, other than it's Christmas, and we love Christmas over here. Kmart has their Christmas pajamas out, and best you believe when I find tourist season, I'm probably buying some, so. I will, of course, post a real-time update on my review once I finish Holiday Ever After, if anybody wants to know earlier than next month. Keep a lookout for that. If you want to follow my socials, here they are. I'm currently still listening to Binding 13, and I know that, like, people are gonna come for me, but it is dragging. Like, you're telling me there are 2 books about Johnny and Shannon? Could we not have put that into one? It's, like, easy enough to listen to, but, like, I'm kind of bored, and I don't know if I'm going to continue the series. Like, it's not bad, but it's very meh. But I am into part 2. I'm, like, probably 5 to 10 hours away from finishing it. It's taken me so long. Me in August thinking that I was going to finish Binding and Keeping 13 this month. Crazy. Okay, now to grab the books that I physically read in September. Okay, these are all the physical books that I read in September. Let's go through them. At the end of August, I was reading Not Quite Dead Yet, and I finished it in the start of September. I loved this book. I gave Not Quite Dead Yet 4 stars. You can really tell that Holly Jackson likes the same dynamic between her characters, because the 2 main characters in this really reminded me of Pip and Ravi. Like, ridiculously. So if you don't know what Not Quite Dead Yet is about, it's about this girl named Jet, and she has always been like I'll just do it later, like I'll figure out my life later, I'll get it together later, until she doesn't have later. Jet has never finished anything in her life, and then she gets hit over the head, and she gets told that she has 7 days to live before an aneurysm takes her out. So what does she do? The logical Jet? She decides to find her own murderer. She uncovers so many secrets with her best friend Billy, like it's not even funny. And of course, a little bit of romance sparks to life. But this book broke my heart. I knew it was coming, but the ending, the tiny little twist that happens at the ending, it's not tiny, it's like actually massive, but like you know it's coming. But the way that it's done breaks your heart. Like, oh my god, I literally wanted to cry. I bawled my eyes out. Holly Jackson does YA mystery like no other. The next physical book that I read in September is Assistant to the Villain by Hannah Nicole Mara. I did enjoy this, I did, but it was so slow in the beginning, and I understand that that happens sometimes in fantasy books, but like, this was really slow, and I was so bored, and I was like, what is the hype? Yes, the relationship is super funny and it's super quirky and all that fun stuff, but I was bored. This is very character driven, and like, though there is plot, there's not really a structured plot of this is where the story's going until you're like over halfway in, and then you're like, okay, I'm with it now. but it's very character driven, which is absolutely nothing wrong with that. I still gave this book a 3.5 star. Like, I still did enjoy it. My favorite character is Kingsley, obviously. I love the different characters in these books. I feel like they're all very pronounced in who they are. And I love that they're all so vastly different, yet they all work together so well. I do think that I will continue the series because of the cliffhanger, but at the same time, I'm a little worried. But I'm hoping that because we got through the slog that was the first bit, that it will be that it will be more fast-paced in the second book. So I have been looking for it every time I go to the shop, but I have not seen it. Literally ever. I see the third one, but I never see the second one, so may have to go to Amazon for that one. The next book that I read was Breaking Point by Mads Rafferty. I did actually read this on my Kindle. This book shocked me. I really didn't expect to like this book as much as I did. You know, I've read Hockey Romance before and I enjoyed it. It was fun, cool, but this was heavy. It handles some very difficult topics, and I really do believe that, like, more romances need to be structured this way because it brings so much more to the story, and there are so many things. These characters are so well thought out that there is never a dull moment. There is always something happening, even if it is a small thing. It still furthers the plot along, and it makes sure that there is nothing not happening. Like, there's always something going on. Both of the characters have so many different things in their lives that just push them together again and again and again, and it really tackles some really heavy topics. And I honestly believe if more romances were written like this, I would read more romances, because it was fast-paced, yet it's still a big book. It was fast-paced, but it didn't gloss over anything. So it was perfect. It was absolutely perfect. It keeps you hooked. Like, this is like 400 and something pages, I'm pretty sure. And I read this in, I think, like 2 or 3 days, which is crazy for me because I am a slow reader. I rated Breaking Point 4 stars. I really didn't expect to love it as much as I did, and I cannot wait for the series to continue. Like, it's going to be amazing. Nearing the end of September, I was disappointed. So The Red Letter by Daniel G. Miller is the second book to Orphanage by the Lake, and I read this a few months back, devoured it, loved it. I think it was like 4.5 stars. Amazing. It did not need to be a duology. I think that the premise of this book was interesting because I do see a lot of detective shows and stuff tackle this same sort of killer, and I do enjoy it. I think it's really interesting, but at the same time, this book did not truly start until 200 pages in. And I feel like this author, when they aren't in the mystery part yet and they don't know what to write, they just throw in references here, there, and everywhere. I'm pretty sure the word flossing was in this, and I'm like, this is like a middle-aged woman is the FMC. Like, why are we talking about flossing? And like, there's K-pop music playing, and I'm like, cool, K-pop music is playing, but they tell you exactly what song it is from which like band, and I'm like, why? Like, there's no need for that. Yeah, I'm really disappointed with this because I really enjoyed the first one. I don't think this should have been a series, to be honest with you. I rated this 2 stars. And then the book that I finished last night, Villain by Adrian Beck. I was also disappointed by this. I have had this on my TBR for a little while now. I picked it up like last week, and I was really excited going into this. And I should have known, because it's published by Scholastic, that it is like a children's book. Like, this is like one of the first books you read when you get into reading. It was very YA. Like, I'm pretty sure there's a class under YA. Whatever that is called, that is what this is. And while I'm okay with YA, I love YA, this was set in the state that I live in, and that freaked me out. And it just wasn't what I was expecting at all. It was super bingeable. I finished it in 2 days or something like that. It still was good because it was bingeable, but I am not the demographic for this book. I am 21 years old. What am I doing? So now that the physical books are out of the way, the 2 audiobooks that I read this month were The Glitch by Leanne Slade and Rich Girl Summer by Lily Chu. Now, I have read a Lily Chu book before and I really enjoyed it. This one, not so much, but we'll get into that in a minute because The Glitch, I loved The Glitch. It was so cool. It's like one of those books where you come up with the same plot when you're young. Like, you're like, oh, what if I, like, wrote a book about going in time? You know, it's time travel. Pretty much she has this glitch happen where she's transported 5 years into the past. In her present, her business is crumbling, she's lost the man of her dreams, and she gets to try again. And it's nuts. She learns things that she didn't know before because she's focusing on different things. And then there's a huge plot twist that I think is so perfect for this book. Like, when that happened and I heard those words come out, I literally screamed. I screamed. Oh my god, I screamed. So good. I rated The Glitch 4 stars. Leanne Slade, I may be reading more of her. I really enjoyed it. But Rich Girl Summer, Lily Tree let me down. She is gonna redeem herself because I did buy another one of her books called Drop Dead. I'm hoping she redeems herself because the first book that I read by her, which was The Stand-In, I loved. Super not realistic, but it was so fun. This one, it was just quite forgettable. I just found myself not really caring while I was listening to it. Like, I liked the main guy, and there was one scene where they went to like a Renaissance fair, which I really liked, but it was weird. While The Stand-In is not realistic by any means, this just felt like kind of stupid. So pretty much this dude who is a part of a really rich family, he finds out he has a daughter, and she reminds him of the woman that he knocked up, and he's like, I want you to pretend to be my daughter, I'll pay you a lot of money and pretend to be my daughter so I can like figure out who's been lying to me this whole time. And she just says yes. Like, she says like a little bit of a no, like she gives this much resistance, and then she's like, no, I'll do it. And I'm like, nobody's doing that. Nobody is doing that. But like with The Stand-In, if you were told to do it for a celebrity, that's a different story. That's like, okay, hell yeah, I'm gonna do that. That's fun as hell. But this is just some random dude who just has money. Like, they're not, I don't think they're famous, but they're rich. But like, I don't know. I just didn't really like it, to be honest with you. Now that's a wrap on September, and while it was not the best reading month, I definitely had some amazing books that I read, and I am so excited for October. You have no idea. Okay, so me and a friend are starting a book club in the Gold Coast, and we've picked our book for October. It's something a little bit out of my normal range. I don't think I've read anything like this really at all, but I'm so excited. So of course it's October, it's spooky season, Halloween, all the fun stuff, right? So we are reading Soul Searching by Lila Sage, and I'm so excited. I am so excited to read this book because it is something very different for me. I've never read a Lila Sage book. I've never really read a paranormal romance before, so I am super excited, and I'm just excited to talk to the girlies about it. I read the synopsis of Soul Searching by Lila Sage when we decided to pick it for book club, and I'm not gonna lie to you, I read it all, I took it all in, but the only thing I retained is that she sees ghosts, and the ghosties really want her and this guy to be together. So they like do everything in their power to make these people fall in love. And I just think that's so cute, like, slay ghosties. So it's spooky season. It is spooky month, like the ultimate spooky month. I am only reading spooky thriller mystery. So let's grab them down off the bookshelf. Okay, so apart from these 5 books, I am going this weekend or start of next week to buy Tourist Season by Brim Weaver. That is included in my September TBR. I don't know if I'll get through all of these, mind you, but we're hopeful. That's why they are, did I say September? In my September TBR. But I'm going to go get Tourist Season by Brim Weaver because we love Brim Weaver here. We love that woman, and I will be reading it in October. Wait, so that's what, 7? We're gonna aim high. We're aiming high. After Holiday Ever After, I am jumping on this book. We Won't All Survive. I can guarantee you, once I tell you the premise of this book, you're all running out to buy it. So We Won't All Survive by K.s. Marshall is about this girl who kind of got a little bit famous because she saved people from a shooting. And money's tight at the moment. She gets asked by this TV producer to go on a new survival reality TV show. So like Survivor, right? She does not hesitate to say yes. She gets there along with all of the other people, and it's an off-grid location, and something just doesn't feel right. And then one of them ends up dead. So whether it's for entertainment purposes and they weren't actually told what was happening, or whether something else is happening and nobody has any idea at all, we get to watch as the main character tries not to die. On live television. If I did not get the arc, I was starting this today, and I am so excited. And then I think it's only fair, one, I did say I was going to read this in September, but we're ignoring that. I think it's fair that the first time I read Riley Sager is in October, right? So we have The Only One Left by Riley Sager. I'm really, really excited to get into this book. Everybody believes that the main character is a murderer. Her family, decades ago, was massacred, and she was the only one left alive. But she was paralyzed and in a wheelchair, and she was mute. So nobody's ever heard her side of the story until her new caretaker brings her a typewriter, and she tells it. Oh no, she literally, on the typewriter, the first thing she says is she says, "I want to tell you everything." That is the most terrifying thing I have ever read. I got chills. I'm scared, but I'm excited. And then, of course, spooky season, we have Deadly Occupants by Mads Rafferty, and I think, say that I wanted to read this last month as well. Again, ignoring that. So, this is about a group of girls who go into a haunted house around Halloween, but they don't leave alone. There is something that followed them home. Paranormal Activity meets Pretty Little Liars. I'm down for anything. I'm an author, so maybe this isn't the best choice because scary, but Love Mum by Ileana Zander sounds amazing. So pretty much the main character is the daughter of a really famous author, and then one day she dies, and she's like, but what if it wasn't an accident? What if it was a murder? And then she finds a letter from her mum saying, "Want to know a secret? Love, Mum." What she reads leaves her in shock, and then the next letter comes. And then she learns about her mother's path to fame, and that sometimes fame is worth killing for. That's all I'm gonna say about that one. All the books that I've shown for October hopefuls are like on the same sort of priority, except for We Won't All Survive. So it's gonna be a little bit difficult to choose between them, but I have a feeling that if I'm not going to get to one, it's gonna be this one. But I didn't say it was bad. This still sounds amazing, but I just think I'm more excited about everything else. So this is called Kill Creatures by Rory Power. Last summer, the main character's grandmother, all of her best friends went missing. 3 of them. After a while, they're like, okay, we have to hold the memorial. Like, we can do this. We can hold the memorial. It's really sad. They go, everything's really depressing, everyone's so sad, until it gets crashed by one of the missing girls. Everybody is overjoyed. They are screaming, jumping, crying happy tears, except for the grandmother. Why, you may ask? Well, she was certain they were dead, because she was the one who killed them. What? I don't even, like, what do you mean? That's nuts. But those are my hopefuls. Let's talk a little bit about tourist season. So if you've never read Butcher and Blackbird, that whole series, get on it, for one. For 2, tourist season, oh my god, I'm so excited for it. So pretty much, the girl main character, I can't remember her name, she's a gardener and she will do anything to protect her town of Cape Carnage. Tourists are always coming through the town, but they never leave. And that's because they're composting in her garden. Anyway, so new tourist, he comes in, this is the male main character. He comes in and he is looking to kill her. She is his target. enemies. That's some real-time enemies. He trying to kill her, she trying to stay alive. She also want to kill him because obviously he trying to kill her. But then something happens and they have to work together, reluctantly, to fight off a common foe. And of course, in Bryn Weaver fashion, the serial killers may just fall in love along the way. Anyway, that's all for today. If you've read any of the books that I read in September, let me know what you thought about them, because I had some interesting ones. I had some across the board ones, some really good ones, some not so really good ones, and some in between. So I'd really love to have a conversation if you've read them. But if you've read any of the books on my October TBR, tell me about them. Don't spoil anything, but tell me your thoughts on those, because I just really need to get excited for them. Are there any that I should be more excited about? Are there any that I really shouldn't be as excited about? And let me know if they're on your TBR as well, and if you're running to go get We Won't All Survive right now, because I would be too. That's it for today's video. I hope you all enjoyed. I feel like I've come out of my shell a little bit more on YouTube, so yay. But I hope you're all having an amazing day, and I hope that your overall September reading wrap-up was maybe a little bit better than mine, and that your October one is just as good as I'm predicting mine will be. Make sure that you tune in at the end of October for all of my thoughts on my hopefuls, and if I actually ended up getting to all of them. But apart from that, I will see you guys later. I love you. Goodbye.